Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Live. Folks are signing on. I've had a busy day, but I've been looking forward to chatting with you guys. Hey, Lucinda Moore. Monique Palmer, good to see you. Karen Bell, Keisha Jones, Robin Randolph Davis, good to see you all. Jillian Maynard, Rhonda Burnett Chapman, Angela Anderson, Angie Denise, Christy Ware. Boy, you guys are signing on fast tonight. We're moving up in this number pretty quickly. Makes me happy. Come on in the room. I appreciate you, Kim Ferguson, Tila Kennedy, Fayette Michael Patton, Janelle Houston, Sandra Stewart. I appreciate you guys. Kimberly Dumas, do me a favor, hit the share button for me. Y'all know the routine. Let the folks know we're here. We're having good conversation. And I got to deal with an issue tonight. You know, don't like dealing with issues, but I'm going to deal with it tonight. So y'all want to tell folks we live tonight, because we're gonna have some good stuff, okay? Latoya Owens, you were where the mail was picked up at noon. Oh, okay. Tawana Miles Liptrot, Jennifer Young, Boo Boo Jeffries is in the house. Erica Freeman Perry, appreciate everybody being here. Taylor Carney Wilson, I got a snack on reserve, but I don't want to get distracted by my snack tonight, because I got to deal with an issue. An issue. Y'all like the lighting? It's a little brighter than usual tonight. Joshua Farr, Key Gibbs, Tarana Guy, Karen Bell. Yep, I'm drinking water. Not my usual from Starbucks tonight. H.C. Cummings. Amber A. Harris said, busy day, but your hairline is tight. Shout out to your barber. Listen, this shape up is a carryover from, I got it in Atlanta. I'll talk more about being in Atlanta in a few minutes, but shout out to my barber, Tim Rogers at the Well Groomed Man. If you need a good barber, go check Tim out. Great guy. Hit the share button, everybody. Hit the share button. Hit it. Because folks going to want to know we live tonight. We got some things to talk about. I got to deal with an issue. I appreciate all the regulars here. Y'all asking me about all the things I've kind of changed up. Nope, didn't try the earbuds out again tonight. They were cool last week, but you know, I started getting distracted and playing with them and stuff. So, Paula Williams said, congratulations, Lucinda Moore, on her Stella nomination. Oh, Lucinda, you got a Stella nomination? Congratulations. But Leanne Roberts said she got her Starbucks green tea ready for me, even though I don't have mine ready for you. My teeth look nice and white tonight, though, don't they? That's right, everybody. Hit that share button for me. We are almost at our starting point, almost at our starting number, too. Want to deal with a couple things. The folks know we're here. Because tonight's going to be one of them nights I ain't going to be backing up repeating a lot. You're going to either get it when you get it, or you're going to get it on the replay. So thank you guys for coming and Let's Talk Live every week. I appreciate it. Hello, Michael Doc. Aisha Booth Horton said the light is extra bright. Cool. Y'all like the way the brighter light looks? Sometimes people say I look like I'm in a cave. Like when I lean here, it's brighter. When I lean here, it's a little darker. So I just decided to brighten it up a little bit tonight. So, all right. We're almost where I want to be. Y'all are signing in here. I really, Jennifer Young said I'm looking good. Thank you so much. Thank you. And people always ask, I just saw somebody ask, Leanne Roberts said she booked her Cabo trip after seeing me on Sister Circle. Oh, wow, that's really kind of amazing. Thank you. Andre Phillips said, how mad would you be if I FaceTime you during your live broadcast? You wouldn't be able to, because I have all the do not disturb mechanisms on, so it wouldn't work. Janae, good to see you, sweetheart. All right. Oh, yeah. So, like, people always like, yo, your hair is so well groomed. Listen, I got in the shower today. I don't let it get wet every day, but today I let it get wet. And this is what it did afterwards. It just chilled. Like, if you notice, like, it's kind of leaning with it, like, rocking with it. Like, it does what it wants to do. So, okay, so a lot of you guys are mentioning Sister Circle TV, so let's start there. Thank you to everybody who watched me on Sister Circle TV, whether it was in your local market, whether it was on TV One, whether if you watched the online version. I really do appreciate it. The response to it has been phenomenal. The feedback has been phenomenal. The emails, the notes, just everything about it has been exceptionally great. So I want to say thank you. I'm the entertainment guy. I'm I started as a full-time entertainment journalist before I moved into TV hosting. And it's interesting because somebody else used another title to describe me. I'll deal with that later. But so moving into the lifestyle realm, doing more travel-oriented stuff. Most people don't realize that I hosted a series for the Travel Channel. I did a special for the Travel Channel. I'm an accidental travel aficionado. Living in D.C. and working in entertainment made me this accidental travel aficionado. So I love to travel. I've become really good at it. I got little tips and some things that can benefit other people. And so now I'm glad that I'm being pushed into a place where I can really use what I've learned through trial and error and share that with you guys. So thank you again to everybody who watched Sister Circle. I had a great time doing the show. Now, it was an adventure getting to the studio. I drove myself to the studio. I had to be there by 8:30. It was, as my mama would say, it was raining cats and dogs in Atlanta. And so thank God for Waze. And thank God I left early. So I was staying out by the airport at this brand new hotel called the Solace. Really nice property out by the Porsche plant. And and then the studio is downtown. They share a facility with the local NBC studios. And so I got, was on my way downtown and hit some traffic, and Waze got me there in about 50 minutes. So it should have been a 22-minute drive, but it was morning rush hour and it was raining. So I was there like 8:40, and my hotel had these umbrellas that were like the size of like backyard picnic table umbrellas. And so luckily it kind of kept me mostly dry. But if you don't know, I've known Selena Johnson since like my second year in the business. We met right before when her first album came out. We hit it off. And really connected. And then it was my first time meeting Rashawn Ali, whose career I followed. I think she's just really great, exceptionally strong as the moderator of that show. I've never watched Married to Medicine, but watching Sister Circle Live, I've grown quite fond of Miss Quad. Shout out to her publicist, Danica Berry. We need to talk about Miss Quad. I like Miss Quad. Like, watch her on the show, I liked her. But talk about somebody who was just warm and just gracious in person. And then the comedian Kiana Dancy, I met her at my friend Michael Knight's funeral. And so it just was great to be there with all of them. The women are just really great. And then my friend, supermodel Lyris Cross, was there. She was taping a segment. And so we took a photo together too. Check that out on my Instagram page. Lots of photos on my Instagram page from Atlanta. So go there, JAWNMURRAY. Check me out on Instagram. So I was in Atlanta for a music conference. It was Isaac Carree's The Plug. It was his first year doing the conference. Isaac is a friend of mine. He had asked me if I could come in and do this artist development class. So I was like, sure. Isaac, this is Isaac right here. Isaac used to be in, he used to sing with John P. Key back in the day. And then he was in a group called Men of Standard. And then he started touring with Kirk Franklin. And most recently, he toured with Diddy and the Bad Boy Reunion. And just literally got off tour with Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. So Isaac is one of the hardest working men in music that I know. But he, having been in the business, he has a brand new book out called Serve. I don't have it near me, so I can't show it to you. Isaac was, he felt like he's learned a lot in his journey, mistakes and all, ups and downs, and he really wanted to use his platform to help some other people. And so he decided to do this conference called The Plug. So The Plug was a conference for faith-based creatives. So whether you were an aspiring artist, a producer, a songwriter, a musician, whatever the case, this conference was for you. And there were classes and panel discussions and seminars and things to really help people with life insurance and taxes and artist development, which is what I taught. So I did a master class in artist development. This is the sign from my class. The Plug, Artist Development 101 with John Murray. Hashtag The Plug 18. So this was the sign from my class. I brought it back just so I could show you guys. And so I taught my class over 2 days. Had great attendance. So I taught. So the conference took place at William Murphy's Dream Center Church. I taught my class in the main sanctuary. So the first day, a good portion of the main floor, first section was full. So I don't do good with approximates, but maybe I don't know, a couple hundred people, maybe something like 150 to 200 people. It was a lot of people in the class. And then I taught the very same class the second day. So they had 2 tracks. So if you came to artist development the first day, on the second day you went to songwriting and business with Ted Wynn and Heather Nelson Beverly. So, but yeah, the first day after my class, they stood up and gave me a standing ovation, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of special. I was a little verklempt. So I just started making jokes so I wouldn't, get emotional or whatever. But it felt good. I felt like Tony Bennett. I wanted to be yes, come on, give it to me. But no, it exceptional. The conference was great. I know Isaac is going to do it again next year in Atlanta, but I think people have been trying to get him to bring it to some other cities. So I hope to go on the road with him. I mean, I had a great time. They treated me great. The hospitality was great. Everything about The Plug was great. So if you missed The Plug, you missed it. And somebody just asked, I don't know if they recorded the classes. I don't know if they did or not. Most of the classes weren't recorded because it was one of them things that if you didn't pay to and enroll in the conference, we didn't want you getting the assets for free. So, yeah. But great stuff. And so, some of the artists that were there gave me product to listen to. So, just because they were good at their networking, I'm going to shout some of them out. So, shout out to Clifton Smith with his The New Beginning project. He gave me his project. Told him I was going to give it a listen, and I am. Because, you networked and you brought it to me. And shout out to Douglas Willett, My Journey. He brought me his record, and I'm going to check it out. And shout out to Andrew McCarter, Image featuring Devin Boswell. Check him out too. So folks, folks are on their grind trying to make the music thing happen. Kudos to everybody who came to The Plug. Thank you to everybody who has been exceptionally nice. Now, speaking of artist development, one of the most amazing artists on this planet is back in here with us tonight. I just get so tickled that she comes and hangs out with us, but it is an honor and privilege to have the incomparable Melba Moore hanging out with us again tonight. Good to see you, Melba Moore. One more thing about The Plug. So we got these keys, right? Because, in order... so here's the thing. The Plug was about getting you plugged in. Plugged into your creative self, your spiritual self, your best self. And so once you're plugged in, you unlock the things that you need to go to the next level. And so William Murphy had a declaration and a prayer for us that on the closing session, and we all got keys to unlock the things that God is going... Oh! I think I just got happy that God is going to do in our career and as a part of our elevation this year and beyond. So I got my key. Hey, Shatta. Don't y'all play with me here. So yeah. So great time at the plug. And I mentioned Sister Circle Live earlier. Another daytime talk show, The Real, got renewed for 2 seasons. They got 2 seasons renewal. Congratulations to my friend Lonnie Love, to Adrian Balan, to Mara Mari Housley, and Jeannie Ma. They got 2 new seasons. Y'all like these glasses? Y'all like my glass? I know y'all can see the blur. I ain't been rocking glasses like I usually rock glasses. These is kind of cool though, right? They're Dior. I mean, not to name drop or anything, but oh, and shout out to The Real. They also won an NAACP Image Award for Best Talk Show, so that was good. Shout out, hey, James Murphy, good to see you. How you doing? Todd Neal is in the house. Lynn Johnson, Christopher Freeman, Carolyn Hodge, Christine Belfield, Jervis Canty, hey, Dominique Thompson, Cheryl White, H.C. Cummings. Yep, I was close. I was in College Park. Arnold Johnson. A lot of folks dropped in here. Appreciate all of y'all being here tonight. Speaking of renewals, the new Angela Bassett show 911 has been renewed. I think I might get into it. I hadn't checked it out yet. So, there's a book I'm excited about. I got it in the mail. It's a big old coffee table book. Joan Rivers Confidential. Listen. Anybody who knows me knows I loved Joan Rivers. I was going through a really dark time in my life, and I was in New York City, and I was kind of down, and Sherry Shepherd was like, you need to pick me up. I'm concerned about you. You're always so up. I'm not used to seeing you like this. So I went over to spend the afternoon with her at The View, and Joan Rivers was the guest, and Sherry knew it was on my bucket list to meet Joan Rivers. And so afterwards, she took me backstage, and I met Joan Rivers, and she was so kind to me. So I'm so excited, to check this book out. So, and this book is also going to be on my Valentine's Day gift guide. So, Joan Rivers Confidential. Check it out. Lots of her private artifacts and photos, and just look at Joan. You almost don't recognize Joan because she had so much work done, but look at Joan. Joan Rivers. I love her. I miss Joan. Hard to believe Joan Rivers is gone. So, all right. Let's deal with the elephant in the room. In the room, on the internet, wherever the case. So I was minding my own business. Out here actually doing some work. Because, some of us actually have careers, they're thriving, we're evolving, we're advancing. I'm, making some moves with my team, taking meetings with production companies and got some things in the TV space in the world. Like, I feel really good about 2018 because so much great things are going on. Minding my own business. And, a couple of my followers sent me notes on social media. One in particular sent me a detailed note telling me that Monique and that husband of hers were talking about me on her weekly podcast. And, here's the thing. For whatever reason, people are still interested in them. I don't understand the appeal, but, people like what they like. But, they basically was like, Monique took a dig on you on the show, and she said you were tongue-tied on the radio. So here's the thing. She was talking about the whole Hollywood gender pay inequity thing. And basically, she used me as an example as she mischaracterized the radio interview that we had and everything that was said about her before. Monique has a very unhealthy relationship with the truth. She's very delusional about things that have happened to her and Hollywood, her interactions with other people. Her and her husband live in an alternative universe, and they like to make up stories and just, and in regards to me, I only watched about 2.5 minutes of the dialogue, but they basically lied about their interaction with me. I don't do really well with lies. Like, don't talk about me, don't make up stuff about me. If there's not a reason to have a dialogue about me, keep my name out your mouth. So let me refresh your memory and just kind of walk you through this thing. Back when I was on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, back in 2010, when Monique was going through her, 2009, leading in 2010, when Monique was going through her Academy Awards campaign, I work in Hollywood. At the time, I was an entertainment reporter for AOL Black Voices, and I was an on-air personality on the Tom Joyner Morning Show that covered entertainment and pop culture. I would go on the air and talk about the various things that were going on in the business. I would talk about events that I attended. I was talking about TV shows. I covered and offered commentary in pop culture. On her podcast, Monique described me as a gossip reporter. I've never been a gossip reporter. I'm a journalist. I'm college educated. I have credentials in this business. I know how to use the King's English. I covered entertainment professionally. I sat on CNN and HLN. I've hosted entertainment shows. I've sat on daytime talk shows. I'm an entertainment reporter who has now evolved into television hosting and commentating. But I digress. But Monique, who at the time worked in the business, dogged me out and said that I wanted her to participate in slavery, to work for free. I was trying to justify why Hollywood didn't want to pay her and treat her fairly. I name-dropped and used Will Smith to justify the things that I said to her. Here are the facts. So while I was on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, I chronicled the various things that she did in the business, and I said the feedback on her really isn't great. There are a lot of things that are happening that aren't great. Now, I was really trying to take a constructive approach to my dialogue about Monique on the radio, and I did not go into the other things that I heard. During that time, I knew that there was a makeup artist that had been fired and told to find her own way home from Europe. I never went on the radio and shared the things that Gerald Levert told me directly about Monique. Never talked about the PR person that was fired for telling Monique that photographers said that she really should shave her legs. I didn't talk about all the awful things that she did to people. I never went on the radio and talked about how I was actually at one of the Q&As for Precious, and when the Lionsgate executive walked me and one of my friends to the car, they were talking about how they would never work with her again, and that studio would never work with her again because she was so difficult, and they were tired of her shaking her down for money. Said that to me. I never said those things on the radio because the reality is that all I needed to focus on was the fact that she was missing major events, that she wouldn't show up to promote her film, that she wouldn't do the due diligence to support a project that could have changed the trajectory of her professional career. Here are the facts. Sometimes you sign on to do a big budget film. Sometimes you sign on to do an indie film. A big budget film may pay you a lot of money. You may not get any critical acclaim. An independent film may not pay you a lot of money, and you don't get paid to promote either the independent or the big budget film. But promoting a project that you're in only benefits you as the talent, because if it goes on to make a lot of money, then people say, oh my God, you're a draw at the box office. If it goes on to get you a lot of critical acclaim, then what it does is it creates a desire for people to want to work with you. And so when you go through the process of being a good employee, a non-difficult employee, a non-nasty employee, an employee who doesn't try to shake a studio down for $100,000 to go support a film that you would make more than $100,000 if you just show your fat ass up and go promote the movie, then you realize that you could go on to do great things. So it's just real simple math. Nobody, 0, 0, 0, 0, nobody gets paid to promote a movie. So the context in which Monique drops the Will Smith reference is, I interviewed Will Smith specifically for a movie that he was promoting and was not being paid for. And I asked him specifically because at the time in which I interviewed him, he was listed as the greatest grossing box office star in the world. That means that all of his movies combined had made more money than everybody else working in this business. So I asked the most successful box office star in Hollywood at that time what he thought about Monique and her resistance of promoting films. And Will Smith said, and I quote, when you don't finish working on a film when they say cut the day that you finish shooting the film. No, you finish working on the film the 3 months that it takes you to roll it out in the U.S., and if you're blessed to have a film go international, then that's when you finish working on the film. Because when you promote a film, you're not paid to promote a film. It helps your bottom line, and you too could end up like Will Smith and be the biggest grossing box office star in the world. Now, here are things that we know. Men and women in Hollywood definitely are not paid equal. People of color and white people in Hollywood are not paid equal. Yes, that's something that needs to change. But this is what I also know to be true. You can fix a system if you're a part of a system. Once you're thrown out of a system, you can't do nothing about it but sit on the sidelines and be hecklers on the sideline like Monique and her husband are. So, talked about it on the radio. Monique wasn't happy about the things that I said about her during Oscar season, nor was she happy of the imitation that I did of her on her BET show. She played the audio of me on the Tom Jordan Morning Show in a staff meeting at her BET show and was very upset about it, and also did a monologue about me on the BET show because she's a comic who couldn't take a joke. Regardless, fast forward, a lot of some of my Hollywood friends said to me, she's going to be fine. Everybody's going to want to work with her. She could give Hollywood her ass to kiss. Nobody's going to care. She got on stage. She gave that defiant speech. She did not thank Lee Daniels, the one who put her in the project that had her on the stage accepting the Academy Award, but she thanked BET. I said that night, this will be one of the last times that we see her. And 8 years later, Monique has done 2.5 projects. And I'll get into that part later. So back up. Monique comes out after the Academy Awards. BET ultimately cancels her show. She did the movie Bessie for HBO. But before Bessie came out, she was promoting the movie Blackbird, her independent film that she had to produce herself to do. While promoting Blackbird, she did an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, and in that interview, she revealed that Lee Daniels said she had been blacklisted in Hollywood, and that's when she started all that hoopla, like Empire was supposed to be her project or whatever. But here's the thing. This is the manipulation of it all. And Monique acts like she's all for the people, and this is all an organic conversation, and it's kumbaya, my brother, my sister, and all that stuff. She used something that Lee Daniels tried to help her. Lee Daniels was trying to be a friend to her, and he took information that tried to help her and encourage her to make different decisions. And she exposed that in an effort to promote her movie. She didn't share the whole I've been blacklisted because she was concerned about her inability to work. She was concerned about her inability to take care of her kid. She was concerned about any of that. She shared that story in an effort to promote her project. See, Monique sits on the sidelines with that husband, and they talk about the business and all the things and all the problems they have with the business. But even she employs the lowest tactics of the business by disavowing a relationship, by betraying a friendship, and by disclosing a private conversation in an effort to sell a movie that didn't nobody want to see. But I digress. So when she did that interview, I was asked to come on the nationally syndicated radio show, Cafe Mocha Radio, which I do regularly anyway. I have a contributing relationship with them. So I went on the radio show, and basically they wanted to talk about how Monique said she was blacklisted. Why did I think I'm sorry, I needed to put some gum in my mouth because got myself a little worked up tonight. Why did I feel as though she was blacklisted? And just kind of recap some of the things that had happened that kind of put her in a predicament. So I went through the whole dynamic, gave them my opinion. My point of view had not changed from however many years ago it had been since I was on the Jawn show talking about the same thing. And Monique listened to the radio show in Atlanta and took umbrage with it. She had a problem with it. So she reached out to the executive producer, left a voicemail, my sister, I want to come on the show with that Jawn Murray and my husband. Go come on the show, and we want to deal with him. So here's the thing. If you got something to hide, if you feel like you've made an error, an egregious mistake, if you're not confident of the things that you said, or, if you can't stand on the facts of the matter, You wouldn't go on the radio with Monique and her husband because they want to confront you about your radio interview. So I said, fine. Let me know when I need to come on the show. We booked the show, went on the show, was live on the show, and on the radio. And the audio is online. You can find it. For like 30 minutes, me, Monique, and Sydney went back and forth. And here's the thing. When Monique is talking and all that 70s blaxploitation talk, sugar, baby, honey, love yourself, hug yourself, all that stuff, you know, she's fine. When Sydney is co-signing, yeah, daddy, and yeah, mama, and yeah, honey, and when they doing all of that, it's fine. But when you start talking facts and figures with them, they can't hang with it. Every time I presented them with facts and figures, they start asking me questions. They would never answer the question that I presented to them. They only would deviate and go into the other things. They have convinced themselves that they are like some Hollywood civil rights leaders, so much so that, I mean, they were making references like she's the Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman of Hollywood. They kept making references to Hattie McDaniel. At one point, I was like, Hattie McDaniels is dead. Like, stop. But they are so delusional and know nothing about the history and the facts of this business that on the radio, they had the audacity to say Monique was the first woman of color to host a late-night talk show. So you just going to disregard the fact that Whoopi Goldberg had one? You just going to disregard the fact that Wanda Sykes had one on the weekend? Or you just going to disregard the fact that the late, great Della Reese was the first woman of color to host the Tonight Show? Like, you just making up facts to serve your agenda. And the problem is, some of the lesser educated, miserable on their 9-to-5 jobs, misery likes company, I'm down and out, and the man holding me down, and you talking about the man holding you down, so I'm going to rock with you type of people that follow Monique, they get with everything she's saying. They believe it's the gospel truth. They think she's talking real deal, keep it real, girl. You stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you don't fall for anything. And what they don't realize is they all falling for the okie doke. Monique and Sydney are not experts in Hollywood. Sydney has never worked in Hollywood. He's only managed Monique. And the only thing he's managed to do is make her unemployable. She's not in this business. She is a former Hollywood star. She has done 2.5 projects in 8 years. You're not a Hollywood star. You live in Atlanta somewhere. All you do is talk about this business. At this point, we might as well call you a blogger for all that you do. Like, stop talking about this business. And here's the thing. I know I'm in good company. She talks about Oprah. She talks about Tyler Perry. She talks about Lee Daniels. She talks about Kim Whitley. She talks about Cheryl Underwood. She talks about David Talbert. She talks about Will Packer. And here's the David Talbert thing. So the reason why I say she's only had 2.5 jobs is because, one, Bessie was a legitimate job. She was nominated for an Emmy. And I will never take away from the fact that Monique is a talented actress. She's really great at what she did. If she could get out of her own way, if she could go get a mental health evaluation, because I'm not a doctor, but I believe that there has been a psychotic break. If she could go get that mind checked and they could get her on some meds that could get her focused, she actually could probably go ahead and at least start doing some Lifetime movies, a Hallmark Christmas movie or something. But regardless, I say 2.5 projects because Bessie was great. I never saw the little indie film Blackbird, but you had to produce that project yourself to have a job. And then she was in Almost Christmas, a great holiday film, but she was booked for a cameo. Now, I'm told, and I have not asked David Talbert this myself, I was told that David Talbert wanted her the project, and the powers that be were afraid because of her reputation, and so they only allowed her to be booked as a cameo. But because she was on her best behavior, they started writing more stuff for her, and ultimately her cameo turned into a regular role in the movie in which she was very good. And here's the thing. I don't dislike Monique. I don't have a problem with Monique. I don't know that husband of hers. But they have a problem with the truth and the facts and reality. They have a problem existing on earth and infrastructure and comprehension as Hollywood is concerned. They just can't understand how this business works. And everybody's tried to help. But anytime somebody calls them, anytime somebody warns them, all they do is betray the trust. For example, Cheryl Underwood expressed concern about Monique on The Talk. And instead of just talking about it on TV, she reached out to her privately. Not only did Monique disclose the conversation on the radio, she dogged Cheryl Underwood out for it. In this latest rant on her on that online thing that they do, she lumps me, Cheryl Underwood, and Kim Whitley together, saying we all collectively wanted her to participate in slavery. Kim Whitley, she came up with this whole story that Kim was after her man. Kim ain't. Let me tell you one thing I know about Kim Whitley. Any man that Kim Whitley ever wanted, including Gerald Levert, because that's what this really stems. That's what it all really comes down to. Don't make me say too much. Any man that Kim Whitley ever wanted, Kim Whitley always got. I had a front row seat to most of that. But the thing that was the most concerning to me was David Talbert. I like David Talbert. Love his wife, Lynn. They're good people. We send each other Christmas cards. But David Talbert apparently shared some things with Monique about what Tyler Perry had said about her, and she went and disclosed what David Talbert said. This man is trying to help you, and you go and expose him and compromise his reputation in an effort to serve your own agenda. They're not loyal to anybody but themselves. Here's the thing. While Monique and her husband keep telling Hollywood what Hollywood should do and acting like they're experts, they're just not. They're just not. I think Monique misses Hollywood. Because here's the thing. On your regular job, if you got fired from your regular job, you wouldn't go back up to your job and hang out. When they fire you from a restaurant, you don't want to eat there no more. If you work at a bank, they fire you from a bank, you want to move your money somewhere. People don't just go hang out or sit on the sidelines and heckle their old jobs. People typically move on with her life. Hollywood has fired Monique. They sent her home. We don't want you here. You're not nice to people. You're difficult to work with. You don't understand the infrastructure. You want to shake people down for things that are a part of your job responsibility. You just don't get this business. She won't move on. I think it's because she really would rather be in the business, but it's easy to talk about how awful the business is because the business don't want you. And here's the thing. I'm sorry that I've had to give this much time to a former Hollywood star. I'd rather talk about people like Viola Davis and Taraji Henson. I'd rather talk about Octavia Spencer and Angela Bassett. I'd rather talk about Tiffany Haddish. These are people who are actually working, who have careers, who go from project to project and job to job. These are people who have thriving careers in Hollywood. I don't like that I have to talk about this, but I felt tonight I'm so sick of my name coming out of these people's mouths. I'm so sick of all this false information. I'm so sick of every time she needs some attention, she picks a fight with somebody in an effort to get some. I was going to speak my piece, still wasn't going to reveal all my cards, but I was going to say what I need to say. This is the thing. You know when you're done in a business when VH1 won't even do a reboot of your reality show Charm School. And here's the other thing. Monique got a lot of opinion on Hollywood. That husband got a lot of opinion on Hollywood. Monique's next job is a Chitlin Circuit play. Oh, no, you think I'm trying to be funny. Literally, Monique's next job is a Chitlin Circuit play. Monique has signed on to star in Barbershop, the touring musical. You have an Academy Award, and you're going on the Chitlin Circuit. And don't get me wrong. I love a good Chitlin Circuit play where the people drink their Hennessy and show up 45 minutes into the show, even though they sitting up front and they seat is in the middle. And then they got a big old booty and they coming down the aisle and they bumping everybody. See, I love all of that. I love seeing the 80s soul singers, coming in there and they do the one gospel song and they hit. And I love, everybody, they got a Medea type of character in every show. I love all of those productions. I go to them, I laugh at them, I support them, I have friends that are in them, but none of the people that I know that have been in them have Academy Awards. At this point, you might as well set up an Oscar backdrop, hold your award, and charge people $20 to take pictures with you. The fact that this is what this woman's career has been reduced to, should make anybody say, I don't want to hear nothing you have to say about Hollywood because you don't know what the heck you talking about. So you're experts on the business, but the only thing you can manage to work up is a chitlin circuit tour and play. And don't get me wrong, she wouldn't be the first Academy Award winner to be in a play like this, but she's definitely the first one that's 50 years old. The only other Academy Award winner I knew that was in a play like this was like 75. So Monique got all the answers, but the proof is in the pudding, like they say down south. You know so much about Hollywood, but you don't work in this business. So at this point, why don't you and that husband start doing commentary on theater? Because now you're a touring chitlet circing actress. You're not even in the off-Broadway version of Motown the Musical. You're not even playing Miss Sophia and The Color Purple. You're not on Broadway. You're not on off-Broadway. You're not on London's West End. You are in barbershop. If I had a microphone, I'd drop it right now. So these are just facts and figures. I'm not going on Monique. I'm not mad at Monique. I hope I never hear from or about Monique again. I'd rather put my energy into constructive things, into having smart conversation about people who have thriving careers, who have had successful runs in the business, flaws and all, and people who are giving other folks the role model of how you can work, do well in this business, and treat people well along the way. This don't have nothing about Hollywood not wanting to pay. This whole thing ain't nothing about Hollywood not wanting to pay Monique. This ain't about Hollywood not respecting Monique or women of color, any of that. Monique was not nice to people. Barbara Walters stopped doing her annual Oscar special because Monique was so nasty that Barbara Walters said the allure of interviewing Academy Award winners just was not there anymore. That if this was what Academy Award winners had become, she had no interest in doing her special. And the year after Monique after the year that she interviewed Monique was so difficult and so hard for Barbara Walters to work with, she stopped doing her Oscar special. That is a fact. So, I've said all I need to say. If you want to go see Monique on the road in Barbershop the Musical, I'm sure you can find it in a city near you. Can we go on and start having some Q&A, and y'all can ask me some questions about people who actually work in Hollywood, about topics that actually have to do with this particular entertainment business and people who are part of the business. I'm tired about talking about former stars who are irrelevant and insignificant and only talking about people to get some attention. Can we move on? Any questions? Y'all are funny. Your commentary's funny. Your feedback funny. Lynn Joseph said, have I seen Proud Mary? No, I have not seen Proud Mary. Though I plan to see Proud Mary. Amber Harris said it was a very disrespectful type of leg hair. I was angry. You know what? James Murphy is screaming Barbershop the Musical. Fact. Y'all don't know what to say after that. Hilarious. Leanne Roberts said, why do I think Proud Mary did not do good at the box office? It was number 8, I believe. I know it made about $11 billion. There was a lot of concern about the lack of marketing and promotion. But I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why I didn't do well at the box office. Monique Hill said, do I believe Tamar Braxton does drugs? I don't know if that woman does drugs, and I don't know. Kimberly Dumas says, what's in the water? Nothing. Nothing at all. Pure water with a splash of lemon. That's how you make it alkaline. Kamisha Cripps said, am I excited about Black Panther like most of Black America? I am. I got me a very militant outfit that I'm going to wear when I go to the movie, too. Am I going to watch Black Lightning tonight on the CW channel? I'm not a superhero kind of guy. I hope the show does well, though. What do I think about the winners not showing up at the NAACP Image Awards last night? Asked Van Peterson. I mean, if you're working and can't make it, it's just kind of one of the things. It is what it is. And you don't know you're going to win. So it just so happens that you won and you're working somewhere else. Jawn, I was so disappointed in the entire cast of Girls Trip not showing up for an appearance last night at the NAACP Image Awards. Jada was complaining about Tiffany not getting a Golden Glove, but her and her new hair couldn't show up to represent, and it won. Great point. Burn some sage. I don't need to clean the air. I said what I said. I'm moving on. How do folks grow hair, leg hair? Lucinda Moore. Mark Williams said, I hear that Taraji and John Singleton are getting ready to do a movie. Okay, great. What are some of my Oscar predictions for Black Hollywood? Do you think Mary J. Blige will get nominated since she was nominated for a Golden Globe? You know what? I don't necessarily have any Oscar predictions. I hope it is a very inclusive assortment of nominees. And, Carolyn Hodge says, what do I think of Oprah 2020? I don't think it's going to happen. We talked about that in depth last week, but don't think it's going to happen. Do not believe that Oprah is going to run, but it's a great story and they're milking it. Kai Gibbs said, girl, Will and Jada ain't about that NAACP life, but they have been there before, so that's not necessarily true. Niecy Moore said, I miss what Monique did or said to get you to check her. Start watching this video from the beginning, and you will learn all about it. H.C. Cummings said, tell us more news. No, I'm done. I'm taking questions now, so. Joshua Farr says, Suits has to. Okay, your question is, I'm going to try to fix your question up a little bit. Will Suits have to have a different format without the princess? I can't wait for the spinoff. I'm not exactly sure. James Murphy said, but isn't Oprah on a show called 2020? No, she's on a show called 60 Minutes. 2020 is on ABC. 60 Minutes is on CBS. Y'all are funny. Leanne Roberts said, I forgot what that means, but you're laughing out loud about VH1 not even rebooting Monique's show Charm School. Just truth. Carolyn Hodge says, what is my next step for... Heather Henderson said, have I watched The Chi? I have not watched The Chi. But I want to watch The Chi. Kenny Hilliard is here to see if I mentioned anything about Phaedra Parks. I'm going to see if I can get my counselor on the phone to go to Kenny Hilliard's house because he's obsessed with Phaedra Parks, and she should probably get a restraining order against him. Vicky Violet Clark called me handsome, and to which I am going to mail her a pair of my boxer briefs. All right. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me, letting me go nuts a little bit about the crazy people who seem to be a little bit obsessed with me. I'm going to watch WWE SmackDown and fix me a little dinner for the night. So everybody who is watching this broadcast on delay, I appreciate you checking me out. If I didn't call out your name or didn't shout you out, it's probably because you're not watching live. But always check back next week. And, rest in peace to Edwin Hawkins. Great guy, nice man. And his song, Oh Happy Day, is the most performed gospel song in the world. You can't go anywhere in Europe and not sing Oh Happy Day. So it's going to be an Oh Happy Day and an Oh Happy Evening. Peace out, y'all.